taking this hesitation potentially as a moment to try to plan things out, set her course for what she wants. Ripha continuing to work with this Ninjara. Cosalina sticking with her Twintelle. And it looks like Ripha's going in Dr. Coyle style this time. Kosa's starting off with the Chilla Tribal. She's made it work really well in this stage, but she's got to be careful now because Ripha has two arms that will very frequently and very regularly outbox her, just outweigh her, outsize her, and can just really overwhelm her easily if she's not careful. Does get the knockdown with the tribal, but Ripha just starting off exceptionally strong as she's constantly trying to find these windows where she can just do these strong punishes that she's been doing so many times in this tournament. And Ripha just constantly punishing them out as she just constantly leaving herself open to just heavier arms punching through her attacks. Ripha trying to bait out the rush, dancing back and forth, making sure he's a difficult target and getting some nice pokes in on the side. Cosalina trying to get that pressure in, sees the moment to go in for the rush, recognizing that grab. Is going to be able to land 260 damage. Slowly starting to bring things back against Ripha. Going to knock him down with another 120 damage. Now Cosalina just looking for a small opportunity to take him out. But that lockjaw going to wall him for her. And she's going to be able to safely dodge right out of the way of that rush. A very on point, very difficult rush to aim. But Ripha still in a position where he just needs a single hit to win. And with only a few seconds left on the clock, Ripha going to be able to safely dodge out of the way of the majority of that rush and just holds onto a slightest of health leads. Tries to go in for a couple of desperate grabs, and that's just going to allow Ripha to quickly recognize that movement, that setup, punishes, and is going to take the first round with a timeout KO combo. Both players going to get frozen. Ripha going to win the exchange, recognizing that grab was coming out, and threw out the bird chuck, just completely walling her out. Bird chuck probably going to be a little bit safer and a lot more difficult for Cosalina to fight back against. He's going to see a nice moment to rush. 265 damage, doesn't get the finishing touch, but is going to start off with a solid health lead, especially off of that freeze. Cosalina gets a nice setup and is going to land 260 damage off of that rush. Another quick chain of hits. Cosalina just not able to keep up with this pressure. And is now just a single hit away from getting taken down, as Ripha just safely boxing down most of her attacks. Gets a stun, tries to go in for the grab, but is just too far away, and that's going to allow Ripha to take the first game. Look at that angry ninja man eyes. Such angry man eyes. Ninjara has the angriest of ninja man eyes that I have ever did see. Kosa gonna switch over. It looks like she's going to try to utilize a Min this time. Really capitalize on that Dragon Arm, I'm expecting. Ripha going in with default Helix this time. So we have quite the variety stepping into this ring. Starting things off, Cosalina gonna quickly throw on that Dragon Arm. Has to be careful as Ripha is one of the best Ice Dragon users. While he doesn't have the Tri-Blast complementing it this time, the Ice Dragon is just going to give her so many problems if she is not careful. Starting things off though, a stun grab combo is going to allow Cosalina to take a light lead, gets a quick knockdown off of that. It is just trying to stay on the move, goes for the grab. Without rush though, Ripha going to be able to get a very safe punish. And a rush, diving right in for 300 damage. Ripha confirming himself a nice health lead. Kosa trying to close in the distance, sets herself up for a rush, but is going to get cancelled out, blinded by the Blorb. And now is in critical condition, reaches right over both of those arms though, and finds a chance to get that Dragon Arm set up. Gonna get walled out by the Blorb yet again. That thing just causing a lot of problems for, especially in tangent to that Ice Dragon. As Ripha is going to take the first round. Ripha switching over to a sword and shield approach is going to put the Ice Dragon along with that Guardian. Looking to get some strong pokes and Waller with a giant chompy little shield. Kosa going to be able to safely block it, evades the punish, but does get frozen. Ripha just continuing this pressure, this onslaught, and really trying to limit her movement and give her as little room to breathe as possible. Kosa finds her way in finally, gets a strong grab, and is going to quickly dive in, trying to utilize that tribal. Finds a moment with Ripha locked into that corner to land 275 damage with that rush, and gets a stun grab combo to follow up. Kosa starting to bring her, take a solid health lead here, but Ripha gonna quickly push her back and is now back to his zoning games with this Guardian and Ice Dragon just taking pot shots at her and slowly whittling that health down. 40 seconds left on the clock. It can very easily go one way or another. That rush just not really landing for much. And it's going to allow Cosalina to hold on to her lead. Tries to go for a quick cap and a grab combo, but it's not going to be a workout. She does get some strong damage here though, and is now just looking for a single hit more. Definitely looking to not utilize that rush, as she wants that advantage into this coming round, and is going to be able to knock Ripha down. Ripha changing things up once more, is going to go in Blorb Guardian. This can be a very awkward loadout for him to really work with, but he's going to start off with a nice 260 for a certain amount of damage grab. Baits out the rush, just kind of waiting things out, encouraging him to play right into her plans. Does have to be careful though, as Ripha's rush can easily just crush her. Not able to recognize that that Blorb was on its way as she got blinded. And right now, Cosalina really struggling with this loadout as it's just covering all of her options. She cannot get anything as Ripha safely reads her down and takes another game. Good noises. Thanks. Alright, just waiting for Cosalina to pick her next stage. This is a rough place for Cosalina if she's not able to take Ripha down here. He will be knocking her out of bracket and will be moving on to face off against Iceman in a rematch in the Grand Finals. I'm wondering if Cosalina's going to try to switch back to her Twintelle, if she's going to want to try to stick with this Min. Any plans she might have coming up. Oh god. I went for a walk this morning to pick up something that I'm going to be using later in the week. This is the first time in a very long while that I'll actually have enough time to like set things up so that I might be able to take care of a couple of things that I usually don't have time to do, or normally I'm not in a position to. But with like 3 days off, it's a good opportunity to be able to handle some things. I'm gonna clean myself up for Smash and Splash. It's gonna be great. Starting things off in this, what might be Cosalina's final round. Ripha going to go in with Ribbon Girl default. Cosa gonna step back in with Twintelle. Roaster and Tribal in hand, putting that Chilla down, and is just looking for a little bit more straightforward approach. Starting off very strong. Cosalina just getting a lot of pressure, has constantly been getting these hits, these punishes, and just nice setups. But Ripha gonna start bringing things back and is now in a position where if he gets his rush to land, it could potentially take Cosalina down, especially if he gets a confirm. But a collection of quick boxing and strong movement will allow her to take the first round. Ripha switching things up is going to go with the Sparky Slap-A-Mander loadout. And is going to start off with a successful exchange, gets the stun, and ends up taking Cosalina's rush away, as that Sparky stun just not lasting too long, and she tries to punch her way through, but the Mander just reaching right out from the side. Tries to go in for a tribal, but Ripha leaping right over it, finds a glorious opportunity to get a grab punish, and he just continues to hold himself a strong lead. But Cosa gonna quickly get a nice 1-2, getting some strong pressure and punishes in here. She's gonna slowly bring things back into an advantage state, but getting caught out by that Sparky again, sees a moment to go for the rush and just chooses to gun it, lands that finishing touch, and is going to be able to take a game for herself. Just quickly turning the tides and hopefully setting herself up for a comeback. I have this giant water bottle. How much water is supposed to be in this thing? Do not for hand, BPA free. $57 ounces. 1,600. Why do they have to be in milliliters? 1,000. So it's about 1.5 liters. It was like full when we started, and it's like 2/3 left. Speaking of 2/3 left, Ripha going to switch over to a Max Brass loadout, starting off with the Kablammer nade, and I don't know, my brain's just stumbling over itself right now. Starting things off though, both players holding about even. Cosalina starting off with a light lead, just getting some nice pressure, some good pokes in, and just working her way around these very dangerous arms. Ripha covering a lot of ground with these very explosive tools, and just whenever he lands damage, it's dealing so much to her. Gets a nice stun grab combo, slowly recovering her arm strength, and Ripha just gonna straight up capitalize on that disarm, not looking to make a mistake, and lands 290 damage. Dodges right over that rush, and is going to be able to blast her down with the Kablammer. Scrapstar holding on to a very light lead. These explosions causing Cosa a decent amount of trouble, but not necessarily too much. That grab's going to be enough. One more stun grab combo, one slight opening is all she needed, and now takes another round point. Both players diving right back into this next match. Ripha going to be able to land for 315 damage, setting himself up in a light lead. Cosa quickly charging up a rush of her own, and is going to be able to see a nice grab opportunity, recognizing the hesitance that Ripha had. That Kablammer leaving him a little too open allows Cosa to get 245 damage off of that rush. A quick charge hit from the Kablammer and a grab combo is going to allow Ripha to bring himself back into the lead. Has to be careful though, as Cosa has been getting some exceptionally strong combos, and this Kablammer is just leaving himself very open. if he ends up missing these hits. Ripha just safely tried to go in for pokes, but Kosa going to be able to find her way in. Slips in between the shots. Gets another nice grab. Something that Kosa's really been doing exceptionally here. We're going to compliment her while she gets knocked down. She's been doing a great job of just finding windows where it's like, yeah, this is a good grab. This is a good grab. Here's a good grab. And just getting some very reliable, some very rewarding points of damage. Another 280 damage with that stun grab combo. Ripha gonna quickly punch back though with that roaster. And just keeping this health pool relatively close. Both players ready with rush. It will likely be just on a quick read or setup like that. And Kosa gonna be able to find her way around 295 damage and brings herself back into a light lead. Both quickly trading charged roaster hits. Ripha just barely weaving between these tribal hits, not looking to get stunned, as if Kosa gets a stun grab combo with a charged tribal, it will be enough to take Ripha down. Ripha gets another strong dodge, another evade, just safely bunching through, but is going to get knocked down by his Kablammer. And now Kosa just looking for a single hit more. And ends up being able to connect successfully, bringing the score to 2-2.
Masterpiece.
Kablammer is so bad. I swear to the gods, this is so bad. Cosalina did an amazing job playing around those arms. It's amazing how Ripha I genuinely would say, like, I like the gumption that Ripha has trying to get that Kablammer to work. I think he was making a mistake every time. Like, Nathan Roaster would have been just better picks so often, and that Kablammer just left him so open. Allowed Cosalina to get some exceptional punishes. And now the end game begins. Ripha brings out the Rafa. Starting things off, both players quickly throwing blows after each other, but Ripha gonna come out on top with a couple of quick Tri-Blast hits. Cosalina just struggling to keep up with this pressure already. Frozen again, and Ripha just weaving between all of these strikes. Kosa gonna finally find herself an opportunity to get a tribal, but she's just not able to follow up on too much of this. A strong wake-up grab is going to allow her to get a bit more room. Gonna dodge right out of the way of this rush. Takes a lot of chip damage, but she's got to be careful now, as that arm can quickly get knocked down at any given moment now. And it's just gonna quickly get barraged by a continuous chain of shots. Those grabs that were working out well for her just are no longer working, as Ripha's just able to cover his options, and she's trying to poke in between openings that just aren't there anymore. Maybe a little too greedy with these grabs now, as Ripha's just pressure and play is too consistent and constantly punishing her time and time again for all of these grabs. Kosa gonna try to change things up. Switch over to the Thunderbird as a response. While it's not going to be as rewarding on damage, its stun combo can be very rewarding. Not able to throw her arms out in time. Ripha going to land 370 damage and just brings himself into a moderate health lead again. That Thunderbird helping out with boxing, but really not capable of keeping up with Ripha's movement. And while it is allowing her to be a little bit safer, it's so much easier for Ripha to dodge out of the way of, as we're seeing over and over, him just leap right over it. Ends up missing out on the grab exchange. That's going to allow Cosalina to get her first grab for this round. A nice block there, and catches her movement with that finishing touch. Ripha going to take a very dominant final game off of Cosalina. Default Ripha equals best default loadout.